They're going to be in a tri-match at champion. We are joined by their head coach, Sam Young. Coach, thank you so much for hopping on and helping us preview another great season of Warren JFK volleyball.
Oh, absolutely. Thank you for this opportunity. Appreciate it.
So one of the things I want to talk about before we, dive into this season, all the exciting things that we have in the store, kind of give us kind of a recap on last year, some of the lessons that you think were learned, and some of the things that you hope that your returning players bring from going through last year's experiences.
So last year during the regular season, I believe we went 9-12. We had a lot of games that were extremely close, and last year was a big stepping stone for us in order to compete with a lot of these teams. A lot of times you kind of question like, hey, are we there yet? And last year we could kind of get the sense and idea of, what this year was going to be like, because really we only lost one senior last year. And she was a transfer as well, Marina Sanders, who was great for the program. So we miss her, but, moving forward for this year, we're going to be relying on the seniors coming up. Anaya Johnson, she's going to be a big one for us leading on the court. Danielle Wickham, Talia Hall also going to be contributing as well. So, we're going to lean on them and our juniors as well. We have Hannah Myers, outstanding hitter for us, Abby Littler, and Celia LaFuria, who are going to be really good for this program moving forward as well. So last year there was a lot of development. This year we have a lot of new girls as well. We have a lot within the freshman field. We had a large freshman class this year. Before tryouts, we were at 27 girls. So this year was, pretty heavy for us as far as, having physical bodies on the floor. So we had a lot throughout the summer. Now after tryouts, we're at 20. So, we're really looking forward to this year, looking forward to seeing how we compare with some of the other teams. Some of the sophomores is really going to help. Riley Gillespie's really great as our back row libero. Maddie Marsh and Madison Moore are going to be contributors as well. Then some of the young freshmen I talked about, we have two young freshmen who are going to really put in a lot of time with the varsity team. Kylie Marlette, who's really had a lot of development over the summer. Same thing with Riley Lawrence. She's somebody who's going to be a key contributor, to that outside hitter position. And then Gabby Consiglio, who's, she's been around volleyball since she's, basically been in the womb. Her mom used to coach at LeBray, so she's been around volleyball for a long time, and she's going to be somebody who I can also have helping us in the back row or even setting if I need to. So this year I'm really excited. There's a lot of potential, but as we all know, with potential, you got to show it at some point in time. Potential doesn't win you games. The hard work and effort does. And that's what we've been putting in over the summer.
A high school coach could go his whole career without having a season where he returns basically everyone from the year before, like you said, minus just that one senior that you lose. What kind of benefit and privilege is it to just kind of bring almost the whole roster back and be able to really take every single lesson from last year with you and not have to kind of configure a brand new team or a brand new mindset?
Yeah, that was an issue that we've had for previous years, just because we always had a kind of a large turnover for seniors for a while. So it always felt like we were trying to reestablish things. But this year, having only lost one senior, it's a lot easier for practice because we kind of already know what the standard is, what it should look like, what it should be like. And that's something that it just makes a world of difference for practice. And plus the leadership aspect has been huge. Danielle Wickham, our starting setter, Anaya Johnson, starting middle hitter, and then Hannah Myers. She's been somebody who's, been around volleyball for a very long time. So to see them kind of take the lead on things really helps, helps establish that sense of leadership even for the other players on the team as well. It helps kind of show the girls that hey, this is the standard that we want to be at and we want to keep improving. So that makes a big world of difference for us in our program. And this is the first year where I'll be, I have, I believe, 12 girls who play club volleyball. That's a first ever for me in this program. In years past, we maybe only had one or two. Now with a lot of the freshmen who play club, almost, I think all the juniors play club, if maybe except one. So we have a lot of girls who play club, and as everybody knows, that's huge for your development at the volleyball program. So to finally be able to get to this point, it's really big for our program and something I'm really looking forward to coaching. And it also takes a lot of time where you're developing players and you're developing things, and if they don't have that base, it kind of takes a little bit longer. But now, since these girls they already know how to do these specific skill sets, well, then I can advance on to more advanced stuff that we never were able to before. So it's a lot more fun at practice at times, because we get to do a little bit different things than we have in the past.
We know exactly what these players can do on the floor. We've seen them perform. Take us inside the locker room a little bit. Who are some of the leaders that you're leading on? Some of the vocal, players that can be almost your second coaches on the floor.
So some of the girls, like I had mentioned before, some of the seniors, Anaya, Talia, Danielle, they're going to be the girls who I kind of lean on. Hannah Myers, Riley Gillespie as well. Riley has a great sense of volleyball. She's a very high volleyball IQ, as does Hannah Myers. They both really work well together. The energy on the floor with those girls, it's really good. It's really positive. So that's something that, having those girls around really just helps. Also having Abby and Celia around to kind of help with the other kids who are, maybe, yes, they play club, but they're still developing their confidence. That's always a big help. So having those seniors is really going to be big for us, along with Hannah and Riley Gillespie. It's really big for the development of our program here.
We know more than most sports, communication in volleyball is also huge. These girls have to trust each other. They have to talk to each other, which means team chemistry is big. Talk about the team chemistry and some of the things that you try to do to make sure this team stays close knit and has a bond together, just not on the floor, but off the floor too.
Yeah, so I feel like the team chemistry this year is really good. Last year, I thought it was really good as well. But this year, same thing. There's not a lot of egos. There's, no typical drama that we have to deal with or anything. So, so far anyway, they do a really good job of uplifting each other and saying, hey, you made a mistake. It's fine. We all make mistakes. For me, that was something I wanted to reiterate to the girls of volleyball is not a perfect game. A lot of these girls that I have here, academically, they are very successful and they want to be perfect in everything. And, I have a couple girls who have 4.0. I have a girl who's 4.5 GPA. But I got to tell them, like, even in the Olympics, those girls who are playing professional volleyball, they made mistakes. So they get called for things. So volleyball is not a perfect game. So you just got to be able to be okay with making that mistake. And then how do you respond to it? Having that idea of like, kind of short-term memory. I made a mistake, but I got to move on, because if you focus on that one mistake, then it's going to last for 3, 4, 5 points. Then you're out, So having that mentality has been key for us. Having the idea of like, hey, we're doing this as a team. A couple of days ago, we had a spirit day where, each class dressed up as a specific holiday. And they had a great time with that. And then afterwards, they all went together and they all had a swim party at one of our parents' house. So doing stuff like that for me is really key. Also, this summer, we volunteered at the Mount Carmel Fest in Niles. And that's always something that we enjoy. It's always fun to do. So having that team chemistry is going to be key. And all the girls seem to get along with each other very well. Right now, it just seems like everything's going in the direction that we want it to. So it's pretty good right now.
Yeah, to drive home that point about the Olympics, all you have to do is show them the USA's first game against China, and you'll just be like, hey, look at this. This team went on to win a silver. It's okay. You can make some mistakes. You can have a bad match. It's okay. Right. Let's talk about your schedule, the people that are putting in front of you. Let's talk about your league first. I mean, a really good conference with a lot of good teams that we know. Talk about kind of going through your conference and what you expect out of it.
So our conference in volleyball is really solid from top to bottom. We have Rootstown, Mogador, Lake Center, and St. Thomas Aquinas. Rootstown, Mogador, Lake Center, those teams, every single year, they're double-digit win teams. They play really good volleyball. They're very well coached, fundamentally sound. So that's going to be the challenge for us, is breaking in and establishing us as, a contender here. So for me, conference play is going to be very important, because those teams are going to be some of the tougher teams that we have to play this year. After that, I really wanted to establish, us as a program to, make sure we're pushing ourselves and trying to improve. So playing other teams like Cardinal Mooney, who I have great respect for that program. Ursuline, same thing. Both of those programs do very well. They're always high contenders, and they always have really well coached teams. And then this year, we actually have our last game of the year against Lakeview, who for us, I feel like that would be, perfect going into the tournament. It's our last game of the year going into the tournament. It's going to be a good test of, well, where are we at right now? How far can we go? What can we do? So having some of those teams on our schedule is going to be good. Having some local teams around here that we're going to play, it's going to be nice, because, playing Rootstown, Mogador, Lake Center, it's nice. I like playing them, but the only problem is they're, a solid hour drive. So playing some more local teams. This Saturday we play a tri-match. We play Champion in Pie Valley. Then we play Bristol, Matthews, Southington's Chalker. Then we also play Liberty as well. So playing some of those local teams is nice, because, gets a break from having those long drives as well. But, I believe that, with our schedule and everything, it's going to really set us up for a successful season. And I like the challenges that we have. And, in the years past, the challenges that we had, it was always like, I don't know if we're quite there yet. This year, I still want to see us play, obviously, but I think we can get there, and I think we can be there to challenge those teams and win those big games. So I'm very excited for this season. I'm very excited about our schedule as well.
You definitely don't have to go far in your first game. Champion right down the road for that tri-match. It's the second year where you've been a part of this opening season tri-match with Champion and Pymatuning Valley. And I want to talk about kind of opening the season with a try. You're not the only team to do it. A lot of teams do it. What's it like to kind of open the season with that kind of match where mistakes get magnified a little bit? You don't have as much time to come back from maybe a not a good start, because you only have 3 sets instead of 5. And these wins and losses still absolutely count for your record. So what's it like kind of starting with those kind of matches?
Yeah, I'm kind of 50-50 on them, to be honest with you. Last year we played at Champion. We did the try. We played Champion in Pie Valley, and we were able to win both of them. And for us, that was huge, huge momentum builder for our program. Winning those first 2 games, it felt great. But, on one point in time, it's like, it's nice because, they're on Saturday mornings. You get 2 quick games in, and, everybody knows the volleyball season is long. We got 22 games. So, getting 2 essential quick games in on a Saturday morning, it's nice. But then at the same time, like you said, you only have 3 sets. So we typically always seem to start slow, in the first set. So for us, the idea is like, hey, we can't really afford to start slow. We have to start fast. So yeah, being able to minimize the mistakes, it can be a little tense on those first 2 games since it's a try, and there's only 3 sets that you go to. So but at the same time, there's pros and cons to it, but we work through it. And then I feel like if we can reestablish ourselves and get off to another 2-0 start like we did last year, I think that would be really big for our momentum going on to our next week of games.
Normally this early with the season preview, we wouldn't talk about tournament time, but because there's a realignment, because there's 7 divisions now in volleyball, gotta talk about just kind of the thoughts of where you guys land now and what kind of doors that might open for you on tournament time, and what your thoughts were when you realized the reality was setting in that volleyball was expanding to 7 divisions.
Yeah, so the expansion was, it was one day, I was told, hey, we might be expanding. And then the very next day I got an email. Yep, we're expanded. I was like, oh, all right. Things work quickly. But this was, something, I kind of really agreed with. Our tournament last year, we drove all the way up to essentially Lake Erie to play Campbell, which, it's like, well, they're just 15 minutes down the road. Can't we just play them down here? Which, I understood how the bracket worked and everything. But so my hopes are, that a lot of this is basically geographical, and it can help a lot of us, where it's like, hey, it's just going to make sense where you can play more local teams that are around your area. Now, I know when you advance and everything, you're going to go to further away places. So, you're just going to have to get used to the long drives, which, that's what we want to do. But yeah, I think this realignment within the tournament, I think it's a good thing. I think it's going to allow more teams to be kind of on an equal footing. I thought the tournaments, it had some issues that I think are now fixed because of it. And I think it's going to give a lot of programs more of an equal opportunity to succeed here in the tournament. So I'm looking forward to it. There's a decent amount of local teams around here that are in Division 6 as we are. So that'll be something interesting to see how that all works out. But yeah, I'm excited for it. So, tournament's a long way away, so I don't have to
Yeah.
worry about that right yet.
With,
But
with your,
something to think about down the road.
with your conference, you're going to be well used to traveling if that's something you have to do, though. So
Yeah.
it's like, hey, we're used to 1 hour drives. We got this.
Yeah, exactly.
I wouldn't let this interview go. You've been a part of our coaches' corners. We like to talk about the staffs and the assistants you put together. So I want you to take the time to talk about the people that are behind you that are making this Warren JFK program as good as it is.
Yeah, absolutely. So, this will be my, I believe, 7th year doing this at JFK now. And I've had a lot of help over the years. Elise Consiglio has always been somebody who I can go to, ask questions. She was a long time coach at LeBray, and she is, just great person to work with. She has a lot of knowledge. So, if I have a question or something and I feel like, I need another opinion, I can always go to her. I work here. I teach here at JFK. She's the principal here at JFK. So, there's a lot of times where, we're just talking volleyball. And she's actually my junior high coach this year, once again. So, we're around each other a lot. So having her around for me has been very big, and it's a key contribution that, I feel lucky to have, because I feel like a lot of schools, their principals don't know volleyball that well. But, here at JFK, that's not the case. So having her, help me, it's really important. And it's, I don't know, something I'm just very fortunate to have. My athletic director, Al Gregos, he's always done a phenomenal job. He's always, done very well with communicating with me, telling me, information about buses, travel, if there's a change. He does a great job of always making sure that, we are where we're supposed to be and we're there on time. He always establishes safe transportation for us, and especially these long rides, that's always very key to us. Our new president, Will Patuch, I believe I said that right. He's a great guy. I'm looking forward to working with him some more. And he's somebody who I think is really going to help rejuvenate the Kennedy Central programs as well here for all athletics, so not just volleyball. Jill Phillips, somebody who helps me with kind of the media. She helps post stuff on Kennedy's website for me. She's always been very helpful. So that was something I always appreciated, when she could, when we would do these interviews and, she would repost them on the JFK social media. It helps get the name of the program out there to develop, the idea of, hey, we have a volleyball program here at JFK, so more people get to see it. So for her to do that for me, posting our game day flyers on there, that's really key. So that's something I really appreciate. Our secretary here at school, Diane Schlosser, she's a volleyball parent, and she's somebody who, a lot of people will say that she's the one who runs the school, even Mrs. Consiglio. So she's somebody who, again, if there's something with paperwork or physicals, she's always on top of it. She comes and supports the girls program here, and she's always somebody who, I enjoy working with every single day. She does a great job of, if I need to do something, or if there's paperwork that needs filled out or whatever, she's always on top of it, and she's somebody I can count on. Just as long as I continue to, bring diet Pepsi, she'll be happy. And then my assistant coach, Coach Sims, Coach Luana Sims, she's been with me, I want to say maybe 3-4 years now. She's somebody who, ton of experience. I can always go to her with, if I have a question or, we need to figure out something. I feel very comfortable working with her. She does a great job with the girls. She's been with me now. And I've always, really admired how she interacts with the girls, and she could be tough on them, but at the same time, she could be very personal with them. So that's just something that you kind of need to be able to do as a coach. And then finally, the people who probably have the most patience and help me out the most are going to be my wife and children. As everybody knows, being a coach, it's a lot of time that you're away from home, especially, we have 2 little ones. Scarlett, she's 4, going to be going into preschool, and then Harrison, who's 1. So yeah, that could be a lot. And, she works as well. So my wife, Natalie, she's key contributor to the program. I mean, she always helps me out, along with my parents and my in-laws who help watch our little ones and everything. So without them, I don't know if I'd be able to get to practice on time or whatnot. So having them, being understanding and helping out during this time, there's a sense of appreciation to which I can't even put it in words how much I appreciate what they do for me. So it takes a lot of sacrifice from them as well. So it's, it's not just me, and it's something that I'm always very appreciative of.
I mean, last year when we talked, I think Harrison was like brand new, right? So
Yeah.
if you go a season through that, having a brand new one and a 3-year-old back then, I think you can make it through anything. Like, okay, we got through. I mean, it's always hard, but we got through that. So let's.
Yeah. Many days throughout the summer, before I even get here, it's okay, I got to make sure the diaper bags all.
Yep.
I got all the clothes, all the diapers, to swim. This is a long checklist just before I can even get out the door. So yes.
Coach, we know you're Ed Champion on Saturday, and I know the community is excited to come out and watch you in your home gym. When's your first home game? When's the first chance for them to get out and see you guys inside the Eagles' nest?
August 20th is our first home game, and that will be against Bristol.
Let's go. We will see you on Saturday. The Tri-Match at Champion will be live on YSN, so we can't wait to get you on the network. We'll have plenty more outside of that game as well. Coach, thank you so much for taking the time to join us. We wish you the best of luck this year, and we'll talk to you again real soon.
All right. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate this opportunity, and I look forward to seeing you down the road.
All right.